It's been an intricate part of my family history. Every Christmas we would have this chocolate mousse recipe, and even to this day we still do. So I hope it brings you as much enjoyment as it has to me, and with nothing more to be said, let's get cooking. Okay, so to start with, you want to melt your chocolate. So we're going to bring a double boiler up to temperature, about 55-60 degrees Celsius, no higher. What this basically is a pot of water with a bowl on top, usually metal or glass in this case. Metal is better because it will conduct the heat through. Plastic is not a good idea. Okay, so here I'm just going to take my chocolate, 70% pure, good quality chocolate. What I'm using here is 200 grams. This one here is a Lind, and I'm just going to break it up into little bits so that it melts more evenly inside the double boiler. Okay, so once you've broken out all the chocolate, you just put it inside the double boiler, and you want to melt it nice and slowly. Do not overheat this double boiler, don't get the water boiling. You want it to be a nice 55-60 degrees Celsius, and then this will take 20 to 30 minutes. And this is a little high speed of what will happen. Once it's fully melted, just mix it, just like this. Great, look at that. Perfect. Okay, so now you take some virgin coconut oil. This is great stuff. And you put 1 tablespoon into your melted chocolate. Now in the original recipe of my father's, it was melted butter, but I add coconut here because it's a much healthier fat and it gives a nice little aftertaste of bounty, but very, very light. So just mix it in until it's thoroughly melted into the chocolate. Okay, and now what we're going to do is whip up some egg whites to make some nice light airy meringue. So just throw in 4 egg whites into your mixer and add just a little bit of lemon juice. Now what the lemon juice does is it stops the egg whites from separating later and becoming liquidy. So what usually happens to these chocolate mousses is you have it in the fridge for a while and then you get a little liquid layer at the bottom. That's the egg white separating. But a little bit of lemon juice stops that from happening. Okay, so now you beat up your egg whites into a light fluffy mousse, just like this. And you want to have soft peaks. You don't want to go too far and have a hard foam. You want just like this, nice soft peaks of egg white. Okay, now you take 4 egg yolks at room temperature. Very important to be at room temperature, otherwise it will throw off the chocolate later. And just mix them and gradually add 4 tablespoons of white sugar. And you want to keep mixing it and beating it until your egg yolks become creamy, airy and light. It's known as ribbing the egg yolks, which basically comes from when you streak your whisk across it, it creates ribbons of egg yolk. Okay, so it should look like this, nice and fluffy and light, sort of a texture between mayonnaise and whipped cream. It's very important to get all your components to be light and fluffy. Okay, so once that's done, you're just going to put that to one side and then take the chocolate off the double boiler. Okay, just going to take the spoon out. And now I'm going to add some whipped cream into it, just a little bit. Now I put 350 milliliters of whipped cream inside a siphon. I'm just going to put about a scoop in. If you don't have a siphon, don't worry, you can whisk up some whipped cream in another bowl, 350 milliliters of it. And don't add any sugar to it. Now just mix that into it. And now we're just going to add a scoop of the ribboned egg yolks into it and keep mixing that. Okay, I feel I need a little bit more power, so I'm going to attach the whisk to the hand blender just to get this into a nice smooth paste. Here we go, this is better. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit more whipped cream just to smooth it out. If you feel like your chocolate starts to seize up or anything like that, then mix in more whipped cream and egg yolks. And if it still continues to seize up even more, what you're going to need to do is add a shot glass of water, but I don't recommend you to add the water. This is just a last resort in case you just can't do anything about it. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to add some more egg yolks. I'm going to scoop it in. Okay, and and then mix that in. Alright, the chocolate is starting to become a nice, thick, creamy, airy, light mixture. But this isn't quite the chocolate mousse result you want. This is just preparing the base of your chocolate for the moussifying later. Okay, so that's nicely blended in. I'm just going to add the rest of the ribboned egg yolks. I'm going to use a spatula just to get it out of the bowl, all of it. Okay. And then I'm going to mix this in, just to get a nice smooth, chocolatey, creamy mix here. Okay, this is just looking great. But I'm going to transfer all this to a bigger bowl, because if I add all the other ingredients in which have lots of volume into this small bowl, they're just going to flow out the sides and it's going to get very messy. So I'm just going to get a big bowl. This is adequate size. And then I'm just going to pour this in. Oh man, there's something about pouring chocolate, it's just, it looks amazing, I don't know why. Okay, once I've got that into there, I'm just going to add some more of the egg whites. And then I'm going to fold, and this is basically going under, through and over. Under, through and over. You just keep doing this motion just to get the chocolate to envelop all those little pockets of air inside the egg whites. And you just keep mixing it in nice and softly. You don't want to overbeat it, because if you do this too fast, you'll knock all the air out of the egg whites. And that's not your goal. You want the chocolate to really embrace that air and become one with it. Okay, so this is looking great. Now, I haven't added all my egg whites, I've added just a little bit, and then I'm going to add a bit more, because you don't want to overwhelm your chocolate all in one go. And if you add it all in one go and then mix it in, then you're going to lose a lot of that air. But if you do it step by step, you'll retain a lot of that air. Okay, so here I'm just going to add some more egg whites. Okay, this is nearly all of it. And then again, I'm going to fold just under, through and over, under, through and over. Just continuously the same movement. Sometimes you might go in a different way, and then just continue doing the same thing. And you really want to scoop under to get the harder chocolate and bring it over to envelop it. And here I'm just going to add some more of the whipped cream in the siphon. Not all of it, just a little bit of it. Okay, look at that. Great stuff. Okay. And now just scoop it over and fold it over again. Okay, so just continue folding that in and incorporating that whipped cream into your chocolate mousse. What you want to do is you want to try and get rid of all those little clumps of whipped cream and have it to be one smoothest texture. But you don't want to overdo it, just try to get rid of what you can. Alright, so here I'm just going to add the last bit of egg white that I just found at the bottom of the bowl. And now I'm just going to add the remaining whipped cream. Now this is still the first 350 milliliters I told you. Okay. So here I'm just going to fold this in. Now since this is the last of everything, I want to be very delicate. I want to try not to destroy all the pockets of air I've created by folding it in nice and slowly. And you just want to take your time with this, and it's alright if you still have some little lumps of whipped cream inside. It's better to leave them than to try and get everything to be one color, because if you do that, you'll knock all the air out and you'll just have a chocolate sauce instead of a chocolate mousse. That's not what you want. Okay, so now you pour your chocolate mousse into your glass containers, and this here is a beautiful martini glass. I'm just going to pour it in and then leave it in the fridge for a minimum of 3 hours just to set. And you can leave it overnight, but I wouldn't go any further than 1 day. Okay, so this is it after 12 hours. And I'm just going to add a little bit of whipped cream on top. Perfect. And then after the whipped cream, we just want to put 2 beautiful fresh raspberries on there. That's great. And then last but not least, 2 freeze-dried raspberries. Now these are nice and crispy and give some texture to it. Also, I'm just going to take 1 last freeze-dried raspberry and break it up over the chocolate mousse. And this just brings it to another level, just adding that little bit of texture to it. Okay, there we go. Okay, it's all gone, but I can tell you one thing, it was amazing. I urge you to give this a try at home. Make it for a special occasion, Christmas, New Year's, a birthday party, you name it. Great. Just do it like once a year or something, because you don't want to be eating this every day. You'll get really fat. Okay, now I've made another chocolate mousse recipe where it's just chocolate and water. It's the easiest chocolate mousse in the world. You can check that video out by clicking on the bottom left corner of your screen right now. Also, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel by clicking on the top left corner of your screen, and check out all my other videos by clicking on the right. But they're not really dessert related, they're more like sushi and that sort of stuff. So they're still awesome though. Yeah,